Welcome to Fontaine Fifth Wheel Pre-Delivery Inspection and In-Service Instructions for No Slack 2 fifth wheels. This program covers 6000, 7000, and C7000 series products. Remember to exercise extreme caution, follow all stated and customary safety procedures, and be sure to wear safety glasses. To begin, perform a visual inspection with the fifth wheel in the closed position. To close the lock, push the bumper off its seat with a pry bar. Exercise caution. When the lock closes, the handle moves in quickly. Inspect for damaged or missing parts. Make sure the fifth wheel is securely fastened to the tractor. Pay close attention to welds and areas around bolt holes. Make sure that there are no cracks or missing bolts and that nothing is hanging loose under the fifth wheel. Make sure the bracket pins on both sides are in place and secured by retainer pins and cotter pins. Use the pull handle to open the lock. Then insert a Fontaine kingpin tool, part Kit KPT, to make sure the locking mechanism is functioning properly. Only minimal force is required to activate the mechanism. Be careful. When the mechanism closes, the handle moves in quickly. Make sure the jaw and wedge are engaged behind the kingpin, and that the pull handle is fully retracted. In the locked position, the pull handle should be within 1 inch of the skirt of the wheel. Open and close the wheel a few times. Look for a quick, crisp closing action. On models without bracket liners, lubricate the 2 zerk fittings on each side of the top plate. Use a moly-based lubricant such as Mobile Grease XHP 320 and 321 or equivalent. Rock the wheel back and forth while applying grease. Some grease should flow out of the bearing pockets. If you do not see grease flowing from the bearing pocket, use a crowbar to lift the top plate while applying grease. On models with bracket liners, it is not necessary to lubricate these grease fittings. Push the bumper off its seat with a pry bar to close the lock. Exercise caution. When the lock closes, the handle moves in quickly. Pull back slightly on the release handle to separate the jaw and wedge with a screwdriver. Use a moly-based lubricant such as Mobile Grease XHP 320 and 321 or equivalent. Distribute the grease between the jaw and wedge, pressing it between the serrated surfaces. Also apply grease to the stationary jaw at the front of the throat. Work the lock mechanism back and forth several times to further distribute the grease. For sliding fifth wheels, lightly lubricate the pivot points of the mechanism. Operate the mechanism to ensure it is functioning properly. The top plate groove should be filled with a liberal coating of grease. With a light coating of grease on the remainder of the top plate. Remember, under-lubrication could lead to steering problems. You have now completed the Fontaine pre-delivery inspection and in-service procedures for No Slack 2 fifth wheels, and your truck is ready to be returned to service.